Hey there, restaurant pros. David Scott Peters here, creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula and your coach. With food costs rising every day, you've got to learn how to control and bring your food costs down. Here's the challenge. What is your food cost today? Do you even know? I've been coaching independent restaurant owners since 2003, and I can tell you the vast majority of restaurants are coming up with their food cost percentages all wrong. If you want to avoid being one of them, stay tuned. Hey, if you would like more tips and tricks like this, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and oh yeah, that bell, so you're notified when my next video tip comes out. And for more tips and tricks for running a profitable restaurant or to listen to restaurant owner success stories, make sure you tune into my podcast, Restaurant Prosperity Formula, found on all the popular podcasting services. So let's go over these 3 mistakes when it comes to the food costing formula. Mistake number 1 is using the wrong formula. See, what most restaurants do is take their purchases divided by sales. So whatever they bought from all their vendors when it comes to food, and they divide it by their sales, their food sales. But here's the problem. See, it doesn't take inventories into effect. So one month you could have purchased a lot of product and you had a sales. Well, you didn't hit your targets. They were lower than expected. So what you purchased divided into your sales says you falsely used more product because it's still on the shelf. So you're going to have a false number that's a higher food cost. Vice versa, the next month sales go through the roof, but you have all this product. So you order very little because you're using it. It's already on the shelves. Well, now you're going to have this really low food cost, which is wrong. See, by using the wrong formula, you have no idea where your food cost should be. So mistake 2 is making sure even when you're using that formula or the right formula, using net sales versus gross sales. So what do I mean by that? Net sales are the ring at the register after discounts, not including sales tax. So if I sold a $10 burger, comp $5, $5 is net sales. Well, we've got to use gross sales. That's a $10 burger, comp $5, not including sales tax. Well, it's before the comp has been removed. So chef, kitchen manager gets credit for $10. That way we're measuring properly. For instance, if I ask them to use, my chef or kitchen manager use $3 in product and sell that burger for $10, use divided by sales is a 30% food cost. If you use net sales and it was 5, you now take this 30%, make it 60%. Is that your chef's fault? No. I want to know if chef is running a well-oiled machine, a good kitchen. I need to use gross sales. Now, finally, mistake number 3 is a long one because it starts with using bad numbers, even if you're using the actual food cost formula. So what is the formula? As review, it's beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending inventory gives me use, what left the shelves. Use divided by sales is a food cost percentage. Use, what left the shelves. Whether we sold it, it was stolen, spoiled, wasted, doesn't matter. If you took it home, anything that left the shelves. So the formula is blind. That's why we need a whole bunch of other systems to control it. But let's talk about calculating it. Well, again, often, even if you're using the right formula, too many restaurants are using net sales, not using gross sales. Don't need to go over that one again, do I? The other is bad inventories. What do I mean by that? Right? Beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending gives me use. Well, we have 2 inventories, and when they're bad, you get bad numbers. So one of the major things that happens out there is we don't have batch recipe cards. What's a batch recipe? Any component in a dish, diced onions and cut carrots and celery, to desserts, soups, sauces, anything that you manufacture yourself, right? You get from all these vendors, put it in a pot and make something new. Well, when it sits on a shelf, it has value. And if you don't count it, it thinks it's gone and you have a false high food cost. So let's put it this way. Let's say you have a tenderloin and you butcher it into fillets, but it's in transit, right? That term that it's in between prep and in between being sold on the line. It's in the walk-in cooler. And here are these nuggets of meat that are gold. And if you don't count them, it thinks the equation thinks you used it and your food cost is falsely high. Garbage in, garbage out when it comes to any formula, whether it's using software, a spreadsheet, or just a calculator and a pencil. I'm going to tell you another mistake when it comes to bad inventories is not counting everything. Again, that term in transit. Too many restaurants say, hey, the line, we don't count the line. We always par it up. Well, the truth of the matter is you don't. You might think you do, but you don't. And I want to know where my money is. So I count everything on the shelves. And hey, if you do it right, I teach a shelf-to-sheet inventory systems where I've got $5-6 million restaurants who take inventory every Sunday in under an hour. So good inventories is critical. Now, one of the last pieces when it comes to bad numbers, bad inventories, is taking them at the wrong time. See, if you're really calculating your cost of goods sold properly, it's at the end of the period. Now, that can be a day, 6 days, 90 days. It can be 365. A typical restaurant often takes an inventory at the end of the month. Well, I'm going to tell you, if you want control to proactively manage your business, know where your food cost is so you can make adjustments, I need weekly inventories. And my preference is a Monday through Sunday work week, so the end of business on Sunday or before we open on Monday. This puts me into a position where I have the least amount of product on the shelves and I can have the most accurate number because why? We're at the tail end of a week. This also allows me to measure when I have my budget variance report for prime cost. It allows me to make adjustments and say, hey, I've got to make changes. But the bottom line is this. If you truly want to know what your food cost is, you need to use the proper formula and make sure you're taking inventories, right? This is extremely important. If you're tired of not being able to leave your restaurant because no one else knows how to run it, I want to make sure you know it doesn't have to be that way. You can leave your restaurant. It is possible to build a team of people who know how you want the restaurant to run. With these trained and responsible people in place, you can give yourself time away. What would you do if you had time away from your restaurant? Would you sleep better? Would your relationships improve? Would you feel more relaxed? These are all things you deserve to experience as a business owner. It's why we own our own businesses. If you would like to learn how to own a restaurant that doesn't depend on you to be successful, click the link in the description to watch a free training course that teaches you exactly what you have to do. Also, be sure to subscribe to get my weekly tips and watch these 2 videos to get more information and guidance for running a successful restaurant.